Welcome to Real Estate on the Rocks, where you get top shelf real estate conversations served straight up, never watered down. Here's your host, Dave Snowberger.
Welcome back to Real Estate on the Rocks. My name's Dave. I'm joined in the studio with Alicia Hooper.
What's up?
My dog, Marshall Tucker. What up, dog? So dumb.
So dumb.
So dumb. The theatrics behind that also.
Oh, I love it.
God. And then today is day 2 of Nicole Young.
Hi.
Welcome back, Nicole.
I feel like I should have a more theatrical introduction for
You
myself.
should.
Go for it.
My dog, Nicole Young.
What you gonna do? Where's your bark?
I can't bark.
Hey there, little lady. All right. Well, let's get straight to it. Yesterday was spent a lot of time just getting to know Nicole. We shared some stories here and there. Today is day 2 of this. This is where I like to be. The actionable items that might trigger just at least one listener to get their butts into gear and start doing
What
the
you
word
need
that
to
starts
do.
with a P and ends with a G. Prospecting.
I was like, papering? No.
You're like puking?
I don't know why I went to papering. It's not even a word.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, whatever.
Yep.
All right, so Nicole, tell us about your day. You are a team leader of your group. I mean, now you've been with Carter Fine Homes for the past couple of years, or past year really, and then now you're branching off into your own. I know that you have some agents. Every time I walk into the Keller Williams office over there, or I did walk in. To be continued.
Dun, dun, dun.
When I did walk in there, you're always kind of in a meeting with your people, you know, and if you didn't have that conference room, I had that conference room with my people. So I certainly understand, you know, you're kind of always just kind of getting people into gear, probably strategizing, talking about the things you need to be doing every day, the mindset and all that. So now once all that's done, you're out of the meeting, it's time to get to action. Give us a day.
It is. So my requirements for my agents are 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. and we have that planned out. So we get there at 8 a.m. and start script practicing and role playing. And usually right now, because I have a newer agents on the team, we do script practice and or role play for about an hour. Now you guys know how that is. It's like you get coffee, you take how was your night, or oh my gosh, you have to hear what happened. You know, so there's a little bit of leeway in there for that because you can't be a slave driver by any means. So between 8 and 9, we're role playing and
As Marshall twice a day.
But seriously, I made that mistake and tried that route, and I was like,
Yeah.
you know, because
Adamant,
that
yeah.
is my personality, is to be very like, let me get down to business.
Right. We don't look at it. High Ds like us don't look at it like that. However,
Right.
the people that are on our team certainly look at it like that.
Yeah,
Like, man, this
'cause I
guy's
don't
really
have-
busting my chops over here.
When you don't have other
Marshall's
D's on
kind of
your
turning the other way,
team.
looking the other direction.
We're required here from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
You may not spend time with your
No
family.
lunch
There's no
break.
30 days of hell with us. It's
hold the
3
bathroom.
years of hell for Marshall.
We're gonna make sure you want to be on this
That's
team.
right. That's right.
What was it? Young Fine Homes?
So from 8 to 9, we're doing role play and script practice and, you know, just bouncing things off of each other. And then I give them, like, they take like a little bit of break and stuff. And by 9:30, they need to be on the phones. And so we hit the phones from 9:30 to 11:30. And I'm in there coaching them as they're on the phone calls. Because a lot of times what happens is, even though if we know what we're saying, we don't know what we're saying in the
right.
moment. Like, we get excited or we get distracted or they throw us off by something they say. So I always encourage them, if no one else is on the phone and they're having active conversation going, to hitting it to speaker so that I can also hear the other side. And then I just coach them through those conversations. So from 9:30 to 11:30, that's what they're doing. What I ask them to do in the afternoon time is on their own schedule. I do ask them to plan it out. So we also look at their planner every single day, and I want to know what they're doing, because that also helps me to go, when they come back to me and they go, I'm not making any money, I can refer back to their schedule and hold them accountable, because I don't want to be a micromanager. I just want to lead you to your goals, and I can't do that if you're not also coming halfway. So
They have to put in the effort, right?
They do. So looking at their planner and saying, okay, I only ask you to do X, Y, and Z till 11:30. What are we doing from 11:30 on? And so, you know, I make them schedule a lunch so that I can see, okay, you took an hour lunch or 2 hours or 3 hours. Whatever you choose to do is what you choose to do. So holding them accountable to the decisions that they choose to make. So then in there, we're an attraction-based business is what our model is going off of. So what are you doing to attract business? Are you going to an event, a networking event? Are you door knocking? Are you holding an open house? What does that look like? And so that's really what my team comes to me for, is accountability and giving them ideas of how do I get out of this rut that I'm in.
So going on the attracting business, does that play into the mindset too? Because you mentioned that y'all do affirmations. So how many discussions are you having as far as mindset with your new agents?
We have a mindset discussion every single morning. Where are you at? What's going on? Shake it off. And I found that has been extremely helpful. So I didn't used to do that, right? I'm a D. So it's like, boom, let's get into work. And then the feedback when I would lose agents, luckily I've been blessed with having agents on my team that they were afraid to talk to me in the moment. However, when they leave the team, they come back and go, okay, this was my struggle. But being afraid to talk to me came from, they didn't want to disappoint me. Mm-hmm. So in learning that, like almost every single person on my team that has left my team or I have let go of has come back and said, I didn't want to disappoint you. That's why I didn't tell you things. And so that was a reflection on me, right? I didn't make them in a comfortable space setting where they felt, this isn't about me. You can't disappoint me. It's about you producing and succeeding. Mm-hmm. So when I went to my newer agents on the team, and at Snowburger, as you know, with teams, they revolve. You know, you have people that come and go, and sometimes you have long people, like you've had Tucker for 3 years, right?
Who's counting?
Feels like 20.
Like that, yeah.
Feels like 20. Yeah, I understand that completely. So when you get those people that are on your team for that last, or when you have a group of people around you that will give you the cold hard truth, it came down to I couldn't get through to their mindset because I was such a high D and focusing on
results.
Just work and results that I couldn't, because in my mind, it's like, just do the work, right? In their mind, it's like, but my cat died or whatever it is.
Put it in a bag and stick it by the door.
Jeez.
Get in here and work.
So,
is that what Snowburger said to you? I feel like this was a memory.
It was in a
Did
book
I stir
read.
something up? Did I stir something up there? So yeah, just getting into their mindset and finding out where they are in the moment. And a lot of times they'll lie to me because they don't want to tell me or whatever, for whatever reason, but I'm okay with that as long as they know and see the intentions of, hey, I'm doing this because if you don't get out of this mindset, you're not going to get to this mindset.
Right.
That's right.
So we have those discussions. Yeah. Pretty much every morning, every day, I check in on them. Every week we have a weekly cash talk, which is knowledge, attitude, skills, and habits. And we go over what they've learned or haven't learned or what they feel like they need to learn so that I can get those key points from them. And then throughout that week, we focus on that problem that they had.
Gotcha.
That's awesome.
So,
Okay. I mean, I could certainly see where that works. However, what I hear in that is that there's some form of coddling, which I think that we have to have, and that's what Marshall brought up, is like put it in a bag and put it over here. I'll explain that real quick. But I read a book when I was a little bit younger, and I was in sales, and I've always done okay in sales. I mean, I've never really been afraid to make the phone calls and do the things that I've had to do to get the person to buy whatever product I was pushing at the time. And now what I'm pushing these days is just different. It's real estate. Mm-hmm. And I'm myself, right? You're right. And so I look back in that I've never sold anything, right? And all I've done is sold myself. Mm-hmm. Well, that's something. I guess I've sold something.
Oh, hey.
be careful. Be careful.
Yeah.
By the pound.
Were you?
Fire sale.
Fire sale.
I was going to say, were you on a corner, but I like by the pound better.
A book I had read was kind of take your problems right there. And I think more agents need to do this and package them up or give yourself an imaginary bag or a briefcase and put all your problems in there. If you're having relationship problems, money problems, all that stuff's going to plague you while you're doing your prospecting or lead generation or whatever form of you're doing to drum up business. And you stick that by the door and you actually make the physical motion of putting it down and telling your problems like, hey, look, I'll be back to get you when I leave. And so when you leave, right, well, no, you really want to because you have to get in the mindset that they're there. So you drop them at the door and you go and you have your productive day. And every time they creep in, you're like, oh, you're supposed to be back at the door, get out of here. And so when you leave, physically bend down, pick them up, and then walk them back to your car and like make the motion in your hand that something's in your hand. And so it's a mindset little exercise that you get yourself in the habit of getting rid of all your problems and getting into the better mindset. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
So as a D, I think I don't know Marshall very well, but I think the three of us are high Ds in the room. That's easy for us to do. That's something that's like, okay, I got this. Like that. Yep. That's easy. So when you're dealing with I, S, and C on the disc form, it's not so easy for them to do that.
I's are eyes are someone that I have to look at closely when
And
when I hire. Yeah.
Correct. Yes, absolutely. So for us, that sounds like simple, right? That's like, it just makes sense. And probably to anyone listening to this podcast, if you don't know what a disc is, if you're a D, you're listening to this going, come on, it's not a mindset thing. Real estate's not mindset. Just do the work, right?
Do the damn thing.
Do the damn thing. But for I's and S's, it is that there's a lot of that, oh, but this happened and this is coming in and I don't feel like calling today because I'm sad, or I don't feel whatever the excuses are. Those are really hard for other people to hone in on. And then you got your C's that have to line everything up, make sure the desk is perfect. And then, okay, now it's time to go get coffee. And then you come back and then let me line everything up and look at the computer. And then, now it's time for
James is a C.
correct. Mendoza is a C.
The new guy's definitely a C.
time.
Marshall's a C, a CS
High CS.
with a little bit of I, right?
You're a C? I would not peg you as a C.
I don't know what I am.
Oh, we need to take the
I see.
disc.
Yeah, for
He's
sure.
taken it before. He just can't remember now.
I don't think you're a C.
But I go IS.
I would say S, yeah. I don't know him well enough to know if he's an I,
But I've learned to communicate with D's.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Idiot.
But for those people, for D's, that's easy to do. Let's set my baggage at the door and then pick it up later. For I's and S's. And
That's where the saying "put the cat in the bag" came from.
Yeah, see?
Well, that's why I was
you were
explaining.
on it.
Captain Obvious over here.
Yeah,
Put your cape back on.
There you go.
You're soaring.
So, but for, like I said, other agents, they can't do it. And that's the fallout rate. If you're a high D, you're going to figure it out. It's just going to happen.
And you're going to push through, right? No
and
matter
you're
what.
going to push it, and you can be not being able to pay your bills, and you're still going to be in the industry. You're
Right,
not
that's
leaving
right.
because you have to win.
And
That's
that's why historically D's have done better in the business of real estate in the first place. So D's and I's have always done well. Then C's and S's have come in, especially with everything being tech based these days, and you can really work a lead from lead generation and never meet the person until you're actually showing them property. I mean, we actually take things off of our website, and he's never even met the client. They're closing today.
Tomorrow, I got another one tomorrow. They're closing. I've never met them.
Oh, really?
So out of state,
Wow.
I presume.
And then he met a person yesterday
They've
that
never seen the house.
yesterday they saw it for
That
the first
scares
time.
me. I hate that.
Yeah,
it's
and
always
so
scary.
definitely with the C's and S's, real estate's been made a little bit easier, and that's why I think there's such an influx of realtors coming into the business.
Oh, 100%.
However, with kind of like lead generation, or I'd say paid leads like Zillow and Trulia and Realtor.net, whatever they are, those leads these days are kind of going to the curbside. And I think once that happens and the low hanging fruit's gone, a lot of these are going to start disappearing again. The C's and the S's are going to have a little bit harder time in the business.
Oh, absolutely. When we hit
the
that
D's
shift.
and the I's are going to continue to really be the biggest part of the 20% of the producers moving forward in the business for the next 5, 10, 20 years. People will definitely disagree with me. However, that's my opinion. That's what I think, that the D's and the I's, this is a little bit easier for us than the C's and the S's. So.
The C's and the S's will make it as long as they're either on a team or they've been doing it long enough already.
Agreed.
And that's not to discount anyone. And we're not saying that S's or C's are the wrong people to be in the
This is
industry.
its
It's
scale.
just it's just been shown. It's just been shown. If you don't, to your client base that may be listening, if you don't know what you are on a disc scale, the only reason I would tell you to take it is to figure out how to play to you the best you can.
That's right.
Figure out where your strengths and weaknesses are, and you have someone that covers your weaknesses. I have absolutely no C in me. None whatsoever. I am like, do it, ask for forgiveness later, do it and figure out if it's organized. Like, that's just me. So Lauren, my admin, is my C. She's what keeps me in line. She's what keeps me straight. She keeps me out of legal trouble. Like, I need that. I have to have that person. It doesn't mean that I'm not good. It means that I focus on my 20 and I give away my 80.
Yeah, right. And, I mean, that's the same thing I have with Melanie's. She's got some D in her, and so at first we kind of head-butted a little bit. However, the C kind of, I would say, prevailed out of it, and we could start seeing eye to eye and the value of that. And so that's great to have the D when it comes to the staff and being in charge of everyone. However, to be a complete match to my D and have an assistant right there with the same D as me, that's really hard to do.
Well, C's project as D's when they're under stressful situations.
Right.
So you get that conflict.
You know way more about the disc than I do. I just read it for, really go ahead.
I was going to say, for those who don't know anything about it, how can they take a test to figure out?
So Tony Robbins has a free one.
That's what I was going to bring up. We brought that up in the past. Yeah.
Yeah. He has a free one on his website that you can do and get to understand. But just be truthful on it. Like, I've had people take it and I read the results and I'm like, Were you like trying to answer it how you thought you needed to answer it? Because you can absolutely do that, but you're only cheating yourself.
Yeah. That's why I like the KPA.
To your strengths. Dude, the KPA was crazy.
Keller personality assessment. I guess if you're not a Keller Williams agent and you want to take that, you reach out to Nicole or maybe even Alicia, and they can somehow arrange for you to take that test and then give it back to you to interpret it for you. But I tried to BS it. I thought I was pretty cool and could do whatever, and it nailed me spot on. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go back and do it this time, like be truthful on it, and I did, and it was boom, the same thing. Yeah. And so it nailed me against the wall the first time when I BS'd it.
It like knows when you're BSing.
The KPA, like it made me freak out. I took the KPA before I joined KW to see where I stood, and solo agent was like at the bottom of the list, and I was like, oh no. I was like freaking out.
Mine was what was it?
Mine was team lead at the top.
Well, I was a mega. That's it. Everything else was like, there's 30 things on there. It was like mega, high. Everything else was low. It's like, just stay out of everything. Just go sell.
Right.
How funny.
But what was I going to say to that? Doesn't matter, I guess. Back to you, Nicole.
Hey, Nicole.
Hey. How's it going?
Good. Marshall's still over here snickering about us just saying, you've got D in you.
I was wondering which I was like, what did I miss?
We're like two teenage boys over here, just idiots.
Goodness.
Idiots. Okay, so what successes are you having with this? Do you find that the plan that you just kind of told us about now, are you having more success with that now, or is it really still kind of the same thing where you're not getting the buy-in from the people? I felt in the past with some of my team people that we would lay down like the number sheets, right? So you need to check in and check your numbers. Then they just started fudging their numbers. Mm-hmm. They just started BSing themselves, and really cheating themselves. And at the end, it wasn't their fault. And so they ended up falling off the team and going and joining another brokerage, which I think a couple of them now have dropped off of that brokerage. One of them's out of the business and one of them's on their third or fourth brokerage now in less than a year, which never looks good in the first place.
Right.
Right. And so are you finding that or is this system working for you and your agents?
So in the past, obviously you learn and grow as you're going. And so right now I have buy-in from the 3 agents that I have on my team. I do have buy-in because I turned it to catering to what are you going to do? I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm going to ask you your 3 ways that you want to lead generate. And then I'm going to hold you accountable to those 3 ways, because then it can't come back on me and go, well, I don't like making phone calls or I don't like doing this. There are some things that you have to do that you don't like. So I do provide leads for my team. We do pay for leads in an attempt to get away from that now. That was the old team model. And so in paying for those leads, you have to work them. So I do require them to make those phone calls, those 2 hours worth of phone calls a day. After those 2 hours of phone calls, when you're following up on the leads that I paid for you, you can go and generate your own leads. And I do have a requirement. They have to put at least X amount of 100 leads in my system every year, which is pretty low if you think about it.
Yeah.
So the buy-in comes from because I've sat down with each one of them individually. And the crazy thing is they all 3 wanted to do the same thing. So it made it really easy on the team because now they can do it together.
Right.
So our 3 lead generation sources are open houses, housewarming parties, which they're obviously taking off of my clients because all of my agents are brand new, and then door knocking and events kind of go hand in hand.
Go ahead, Marshall. You have
Everybody's got their hand up. What's going on here?
Well, tell us about the housewarming party. That's kind of caught my attention.
Yeah. So housewarming parties. So this is new for us because we're 7 Levels of Communication by Michael Mayer.
Yeah.
Someone's got a crush on Michael Mayer.
Yeah,
I do. I love him. Seriously. If he came to me and was like, hey, come work for me, I'd be like, done.
Have you seen her social media? Like when she gets to stand and take a picture with him? I'm telling you. I thought she was going to jump his bones. Mm-hmm. I tried. So I think he's married though.
I was worried about Marshall and I over here.
He is happily married, yes. Unfortunately. So, but I do love him.
This is what you get with D women.
Yeah.
We don't care. We're not. So,
to the point.
The housewarming party.
I feel uncomfortable. I might have to make a call to HR.
Sorry. The housewarming party. So we take clients and we don't advertise anything. So my offer to my clients is you can invite up to 40 people. You give me names, addresses, emails, however you want me to invite them. I'll send out the invites. I provide the food and the beverages, non-alcoholic beverages, and then we will do door prizes. And so I get my vendors to donate in on the cost.
So like your title rep, inspector, lender, everyone that was involved that had a hand in the deal. And then
I noticed you didn't say carpet guy. He run that relationship with me too.
Shut up.
Well, no, we do have a carpet guy involved because in case someone spills something on the carpet,
There you go.
we will get it cleaned for you.
Chuck
was
it
more of a
carpet
stab-
now.
it was
It
more of a
wasn't.
stab at Alicia.
It was.
I asked for the business.
Yeah.
Not sorry.
Yeah. So we just invite vendors in. And the great thing about it is someone's going to raise their hand and go, what about new builds? Because then you don't have a title rep and then you don't have all these people.
What about new builds?
Well, the
You
current
still have a
vendors-
team of support.
Yeah, the current vendors want the
That's right.
referrals off of
course,
it.
yeah.
So you got your if my lender didn't lend on this part or house, I've still got the lender that wants to take party to it. We do not advertise at this party though. We are servers. So we are service minded. So at no point are we asking for referrals. At no point are we going, hey, that we do ask the buyer themselves.
You're passively asking. So you have a registration table because you want
Yes.
everybody to sign in because you want to get their information at the bottom of the
You
registration.
invited everyone though, so you have all that info.
Correct, but sometimes you have uninvited guests.
Hold on. At the bottom of the
Like
registration
us.
form, it says, do you know 3 people who are looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? And then you just ask them to list their contact information. That's the only way.
That's the only time you ask for
Yeah.
business. Everything else is like, hey, can I get you another drink? Hey, can I get you something to eat? Do you know these people over here? And kind of introductory, like because you're the one meeting everyone as they walk in the door. So you also want to be the one that's introducing everyone so that
Smart.
you know that you're the one that, or so that everyone knows that you are the one that knows everyone, right?
Gotcha.
So you got 40-ish so guests there, and then referrals come in. Oh man, my realtor never did this for me, or and that's our closing gift now. We'll throw you a housewarming party, usually 45 to 90 days after the closing.
What if they don't want to do it?
That's fine. I've only had one person turn me down though.
Are you able to say the average cost that you throw towards that?
Well, so
have a
we
budget?
are wanting to pull in food trucks now instead of having the food in the house. So that may change our cost point. We're researching that now, but $500 will get you a good party, and that's with 250 of it going to planner because I don't have the time to do that.
I will have a taco truck at mine.
So $250 goes to someone to do all of it for me, and then the other $250 sponsors your like food and drinks
I like that. It's a good idea.
and invites.
It is a good idea. Read 7 levels of communication.
Yeah, it's great.
Is it not
So-
Audible?
Yes.
It is on Audible.
Cool.
It is
I'm kidding. I've read it. I know that. I know Michael Mayer also.
Yeah.
Isn't he awesome?
I don't turn all red and fan myself thinking about Michael Mayer, but
He's
whatever.
awesome.
He's a nice guy. Okay, so let's go ahead and just start on the descent to wrap this thing up today. You've been a pleasure, Nicole.
Thank you so much.
Is there anything else you can give advice? I like advice for new agents. I mean, that 1 to 2 years, we see them all the time. They're like zombies around the office, right?
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a mean way. I'm just saying they just kind of walk around and don't know what to do. And sometimes their ego stands in the way of asking questions of, man, what do I do?
Right.
Or they don't know who to talk to. Or maybe agents are presented in a light of like, well, that he's a big agent, so don't talk to him. He must be very busy. And so whatever else, I welcome people to ask me questions all the time, but I'll walk by and just kind of like see the same people over and like, hey, strike up conversation with them, like, and I could see him tapping the foot, like, why is this guy talking to me?
Yeah.
He's so intimidating.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Jay Stover.
The beard is here.
That's your slogan. The beard is here.
The beard is here.
I like it.
There we
Yeah.
go. I like that. Thank
That
you
is
very
good.
much.
Yeah.
Wow.
The
I'm-
beard is here.
Never fear, the beard is here.
Never fear, the beard is here.
Boom.
I need a slogan
Hashtag
like that.
Seriously.
That's a long hashtag, but I'm going to hashtag it.
Don't shake their hand when you walk up to the door. Be like, the beard is here.
Once again, this
Sign
isn't
here.
about me. This is about Nicole's wrap up.
Hi, Nicole. Okay, what you got?
Ah, we're back on me.
Yep.
So yeah, my biggest piece of advice is you have to drop it and ask because you don't know what you don't know in this industry. I still ask questions. I mean, when you were in our office, I knocked on your door. Hey, tell me what you think about this.
Right.
I'm sure you have those people that you can do that with also. The biggest thing is even if you do know the answer, you still ask someone else's opinion. It makes you sociable and likable, and also it makes them know that you don't have too much pride, and maybe they can help you with something without you even asking.
Absolutely.
So 100% ask for help, even if you don't need it, but especially if you need it, because we've all been there and we all know that there's something we don't know, right? So even if you know how to do something, can you do it better? Is someone else doing it better? So yeah, my biggest piece of advice would be to stop trying to figure it out and ask.
Yeah.
Because you're going to waste your time going around and around in circles trying to figure it out when you could. And I'm the world's worst about this, the world's worst, because I'm going to figure it out. I can figure it out. I'm going to do this. And I spend, an hour, 2 hours trying to do something when someone could have done it in 5 minutes.
Do you want
Right.
to talk about Saunders' invite or no? Same story? Never mind. Inside joke. Go ahead.
Oh, yes. So Alicia, so I am not a social media guru at all. Like I'm so horrible at it. And I was planning a party for someone. And so that's also another big thing, roles reversed. I don't plan the parties.
Right.
And I had to get this invitation posted on Facebook and it was not working for me. And I was getting so frustrated. I spent,
I was on the phone with her for like 30 minutes and like 3 times I was like, do you just want to send it to me so I can get it done? And she's like, no, I will figure this out.
yeah. That's where, and again, this plays into figure out your
right.
weaknesses and your strengths
Yeah.
and stop beating your head against the wall.
That's right.
Because everyone has their 20% that they need to be focused on and they need to be giving that 80% away. And if
Yep.
you're not giving that 80% away, then you're beating your head against the wall and you're never going to get as far as you could possibly get.
Yeah.
You're going to get places. Don't get me wrong. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut, right? You're going to get places, but if you want to get to the highest place possible, you have to let go.
Boom. I like it.
100%.
That's good.
That's actually great advice. So, all right. Well, anything else today, Alicia? You got anything? Any last questions for Ms. Young over here from the Young Realty Group?
Oh, I was going to say go eat tacos, but no, you did great. Thank you for everything.
What's that? She's buying
Always
tacos.
eating tacos.
I'm hungry.
Marshall, anything for our young guest over here?
No, she covered it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
I certainly appreciate you stopping by the Real Estate on the Rock studio.
This is so fancy, right?
Oh, thanks for having me.
I'm glad we kept all of our nonsense at bay, most of it. I'm glad there's no
Maybe
cameras
next
on
time
us.
we'll talk about investing.
There you go. Hey, yeah, we can definitely do a day 3. We'll have James, the new guys, put you back on the schedule. I was out of town for a few days, so we just walked back in, and you walked in the office, and I was like, "Oh, hey, Nicole, what are you doing here?"
I was like, oh, am I not? Oh,
Then I saw an email. It's like Nicole's interview questions. Like, hey, we're interviewing Nicole Young. I had no idea, which is a complete pleasure because I remember walking down the hall with you once, and I was like, "Hey, when are you going to be on the show?" And you're like, "Whenever you invite me." And so
I need the invite.
That was a
do
good
that
impression,
first.
Dave.
Oh, thanks.
You sounded just like her.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
That wouldn't hurt.
Pretty good at kind of just morphing myself.
Yeah.
And, mirroring and matching is what that's called.
There you go. Boom.
All right. So Mike Harrell is our sponsor to the show. Guaranteed Rates, a fantastic mortgage company. They're all good mortgage companies, right? No, they're
Nope.
not. Guaranteed Rate with Michael Harrell is probably the best in the world. It's science. I can't go against that.
It's physics, really.
Yeah, is it physics? I thought it was science, but
I feel like the saying is like, it's physics, really.
They're in the same sphere.
Yeah.
And so if you'd like to reach out to us, we're at info@realestateontherocks.com. You can reach any of us, Dave, Marshall, what's your name?
Alicia. Yeah.
And then James, that new guy. And of course, if you want to reach out to Nicole Young, how do we do this?
Absolutely. So my email is NicoleYoung@kw.com. Social media right currently for the next month is Carter Fine Homes. You can find us there, and then I'll get you guys an update when it changes.
Nice. I really appreciate that. You can also reach us to text Top Shelf to 88,000. If you want to have a private coaching call with one of us real quick, just reach out. If we can help you in your business anyway, if you need some ideas, if you're stuck, if you're thinking about quitting, that's when you reach out to us. If
That's
you're
right.
thinking about quitting, call me directly at 512. Just kidding.
555.
867.
Well, you can definitely call me directly if you were thinking about
I'm just
quitting.
kidding. 512-920-DAVE.
Boom.
Boom.
Wow.
And so, yeah,
I was going
got
to
that one
say
figured out.
8675309.
No, I
Okay.
won't. People are always like, "Oh, you put your real phone number on there?" I'm like, everywhere I go.
Yeah,
you know?
why not?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's out there.
920-DAVE, 3283.
Boom.
Cool. Well, we got another episode coming up here in about 10 seconds or so hang tight with us. Once again, we thank you so much for listening to us. Head over to Facebook and find the page Top Shelf Agents and send us an invite. We'd love to invite you into the group if you're an agent, or maybe even we might let some other folks in. But I like agents
Yeah.
more. So anyway, let's get out of here.
All right.
I'm out.
Bye, y'all.